During May's landmark announcement during the Frontier Unlocked livestream, Frontier Development officially unveiled the upcoming edition of Squadron Carriers to Elite Dangerous, set to launch with the Vanguards update in summer 2025. Even though Squadrons was to be called Vanguards, the update is still called Vanguards, but the actual section in the game that was going to be called Vanguards is now called Squadrons. So it's not a Vanguard carrier, it's a Squadron carrier. Anyway, these are going to be huge colossal vessels that are coming in summer 2025 and are poised to redefine group dynamics, or at least that's the plan, strategic planning, and also some interstellar logistics within the game. But now it's time to get those tinfoiled hat outs and start speculating. Get those keyboard warrior fingers all limbered up. What would a squadron fleet carrier mean for you? What does it need to be? What are the points it needs to hit? And we'll talk about all that in today's video. Now, if you've been enjoying our weekly Elite Dangerous videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're on another platform, do a follow or whatever it is there. It certainly does help us out, and it certainly does paint a picture on what you want to see in the future. First up is going to be ownership and management. Now, while we think a squadron carrier is owned by a single commander, the founder and leader of that squadron, management responsibilities can be delegated based on squadron ranks. This hierarchical control will ensure that trusted members can coordinate jumps, manage resources, and oversee operations, fostering a collaborative element and that command structure that's been missing from the game with existing fleet carriers as well. Now, in the pictures, the Squadron Carriers are a huge behemoth beast, bigger, let's face it, than the standard carrier, and also even bigger than the ship that you bring in for your system colonization. If you've got the standard carrier, which is say level 1, and then you've got the system colonization ship, which is level 2, then the standard carrier certainly looks like to be 3 times as big. Will it have 3 times the capacity? There have been reports along some of the Reddit forums of a capacity up to 50,000 tons that are going to accommodate a vast array of ships, modules, and commodities. Now, this expansion would facilitate the full-scale collaborative operation from mass trading right the way through to system colonization efforts for your squadron, and also coordinated combat missions. Either way, I think it's safe to say that it's going to have to be more than what you currently get on your existing fleet carrier to get people into this section of the game. Taking a look at shared resources as well now, a notable feature is the introduction of a squadron bank. Money, baby, allowing members to pool credits and resources. This is a communal fund that can be utilised for carrier group upkeep, purchasing modules, funding missions, reinforcing the collective nature of your squadron's activities, whether it's bounty hunting, mining, system colonization, any of the above really. So it seems to be quite a fantastic feature, and it takes that underhanded element away from the game. Something that I think is well welcomed. Now, for those of you who turned around and tuned in to Frontier Unlocked stream, you'll know that you can design logos, a combination of up to 3 visual layers that can be merged together and displayed on ships and the carrier itself. Now, this personalization fosters that sense of identity, possibly even pride, distinguishing your squadron within the galaxy. Although, let's be fair, there's obviously going to be, I would say, paint jobs for your carrier, engine colours for your carrier, there's going to be specific nameplates for your carrier, probably all for arcs as well, and that's okay, supporting the game is good. But hey, what if they had specific icons that you could buy for arcs as well? This is a huge opportunity, Frontier, and where an awful lot of people will say, oh, they're money grabbing for the arcs. In-game customization and funding the game we all love, I think is a good idea. In the existing carriers, you can customize the colour of the seats and the interior. Is that going to be a thing as well? It should be. Perhaps even stretch that to how much you can customize the bar, and other communal areas. It really is an open book now for Frontier, and I hope they do take advantage of it and make this game all it can be. So now we're entering the range of speculation. Operational mechanics. So let's think about jump range and fuel consumption. Now, standard carriers will retain, and always have had, a 500 light-year jump range. That's a traditional fleet carrier. Each jump requires tritium fuel. There's a consumption affected by mass and cargo, apparently. Anyway, a strategic jump planning and fuel efficiency will have to remain an essential component of the game and then be managed with people who have access to plot and manage jumps. However, jump range. So how far is this going to go to? 500 light years with everybody on it? Could it even be more given it's 3 times the size? Could it even be less given the sheer bulk of this ship? How much tritium is it going to use? If it's 3 times the size, will it be using 3 times the tritium? Will it just be a standard 500 light year jump range? And Frontier won't mess with a dynamic that obviously works. Something to think about, isn't it? And then what about maintenance and upkeep? So operating a standard fleet carrier is expensive. It can run to millions upon millions of credits. So what about a squadron carrier? Again, it's massive, it's huge. It's got to be a significant financial commitment. Weekly upkeep costs are expected, I would say, to scale with the installed services and modules. Will you be able to install additional services and modules in your fleet carrier? That's another thing to think about. Let's face it, anything between 30 million credits a week upwards, I would say, for this, based on the fact that even mine that's not fully kitted out comes in around about 21. And then what happens if you fail to maintain and upkeep it? Could it result in partial service shutdowns, or the fact that the engine lights go out and people are running around with spanners? Who knows? So like I've already mentioned, speculation is running rife, and where many details have been confirmed and we've been given quite a bit of operation, questions are still out there in the community. Certain elements remain unverified by Frontier, and even people in the partner community have been kept at arm's length. We had no idea any of this was happening as well. It was as much as a surprise to us as it was to everybody else, and that can be quite refreshing. So let's think about how you specifically get your fleet carrier, your squadron fleet carrier. So would it be acquisition via a mission or campaign? So to speculate here, rather than a flat purchase like a fleet carrier, squadron carriers may require squadrons to complete a change of acquisition missions, similar to unlocking engineers perhaps, or even like the Guardian tech grind. This could involve collecting resources, fighting off pirate factions, completing large-scale trade for exploration contracts. That could be quite good as well, and a whole new arc of squadron gameplay. And then what about the cost and funding requirements? The projected cost of a squadron carrier could range from anything between 10 to 20 billion credits, depending on outfitting and additional services. However, communal contributions through a squadron treasury may reduce the individual commander burden. We've all got a lot of credits from the Thargoid War. What are we going to do with them? Things like this are going to remove those credits for the game, because credits are generally useless. They're in such abundance with community goals and missions and everything else. Is this going to suck all the credits out of the game like a Dyson Hoover? Who knows? And then of course you've got territorial control. Carriers might offer influence over star systems, affecting the background simulation, potentially offering temporary faction boosts as well. You rock in with your carrier and your squadron, all aligned with the Smurf or Orisa, for example. Does that provide a stronghold in that system? Something that can effectively give you defensive bonus, faction boosts, or even exclusive missions. Will there be system missions assigned to the carrier, or will it just be player carriers missions dictated by the carrier supreme commander? We just don't know. Will there be exclusive carrier modules and services? Now, the Vanguards update might introduce exclusive module options for squadron carriers, such as integrated command rooms, briefing decks, mission planning consoles. This could be fantastic. Access the system's missions from the carrier. How cool would that be? Are you even going to be able to walk around the carrier like you can walk around a standard one? How's that going to affect instancing? You get 30 commanders on a carrier, the game's going to have a het fit, unless there is a distinct aspect of how instancing is operating in this game. Can you imagine 100 commanders in one of the bars? How many bars are they going to be? How many shops are they going to be? Is it going to work on the fact that it looks like it's 3 fleet carriers bolted together? Each fleet carrier, depending on the side where your commander lands, splits up the squadron into 3 or 4 or 5. Interesting. How many people can sit on that carrier deck? You know it's certainly got enough chairs. Who knows? And are there going to be special modules and services, like I say? Can you pair it with PvE or PvP objectives? How is this carrier going to defend itself? It's another one as well. And then, of course, Frontier offering premium squadron paint packs, custom hull decals, lighting options, all for arcs, boosting the company coffers. And of course, we have the persistent squadron missions aspect. I think it would be great if carriers acted as hub for launching persistent multi-week missions where all squadron members can contribute asynchronously, possibly with branching outcomes depending on the success or failure of said missions. Now what about AI crew? They stand sometimes embedded in the deck floor, yawning, lounging about, not really doing much. Are we going to see a bit of dialogue? Perhaps AI driven, for example, where you can converse with your chief engineer or the cargo master or even the bank teller for the fleet carrier bank? And will there be squadron history logs, similar to the bridge crew seen in other space games? It really is something to think about. Now, what's the potential impact here? Well, galactic power projection for one, economic balance, and also newcomer engagement. Like I say, there are lots of unanswered questions and things that no doubt will come apparent in future Frontier Unlocked. It's all scheduled for the summer, but something was said, and we're working our hardest to get it in for the summer like we promised. That was in Frontier Unlocked. But this representative initiative is a defining milestone in the development of Elite Dangerous. It's bringing that community aspect together. It's removing people relying on third-party sites. I don't think it's ever really going to displace Discord, however. I don't think it will. Now, the true test will come when it launches with the Vanguards update. And will you be out there forming your own squadron, or will you join one? If you're still with me, you let me know in the comment section. Are you going to get your own squadron and squadron carrier? Are you going to play with friends, or just join somebody else's squadron and piggyback on all of that and just come along for the ride? There's no right answer. I'm just interested to know. I've been Ricardo. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.